I think that's a problem.
But what you can do is, you don't have to have a PayPal account to use the system.
I know you don't. I was trying to pay without using PayPal and it wouldn't let me.
Well, what should happen is, you should have the option of, without a PayPal account, click and pay by credit card. If that's not the case, then we have a problem, but that should be the case. You shouldn't have.
Yes, you have a problem.
Well, if it's not working, because we're not requiring members to have PayPal accounts, you should be able to click and pay by credit card. We're giving the options. We want to have members the maximum flexibility
We're using PayPal.
of using
It is
PayPal or credit card or snail mail.
for dues.
So anyhow, that's kind of the deal. And you get
Is
anything.
PayPal an option for us for dues?
Well,
Do
anyhow,
we have the option of PayPal for dues?
Yeah,
Right.
we do.
right. So
We do PayPal.
you have the option of PayPal. We'll give you three choices. You can pay by credit card, any credit card. And we want to do this is even for the event. Checks are like so yesterday. So we're going to get out of business of checks and cash. So we're going to have, we're doing this, when we do the registration form, you're going to have send in your payment by clicking here and we're done. So it's the new way of doing business. Conference of Clubs is next weekend. It's going to be a cool thing. We're going to have a booth there. We're going to have a banner. And we'll have some flyers. And ideally, we'll get some cooperation from other clubs, like maybe the E-Club guys. Oops, just 1 second here. So that's kind of deal with that. Dues payment system. Projects, we're proceeding on with our projects. And Rotary scholarships we'll probably have Rick Knoll has done your scholarships. They gave us summary of this last week. That's good.
So
Aaron Knoll has-
their district offers the CTS scholarships. Our candidate is Alex Farenthold.
Right,
Oh, so they have a candidate.
right. He had his interview on May 1st. They had 15 applicants. And
They
unfortunately,
have 15 applicants.
yeah, 15 applicants for 5 scholarships for CTE. There's
The
5
district did.
He said they had 15 applicants.
Right, 15 applicants. And so Alex gave his thing, and he's doing welding technology. So he has a pretty good shot at that. And he's been helping Rick on some of these things.
Yeah, obviously got a good response the
Yeah.
last days.
Yeah.
Okay, subject is the industry hands up high ministry. And this is Roland. So I'll do a very quick introduction, and the floor is over to you, Roland. But this is kind of a little quick summary. The idea is to, to help people with challenges. So that's what it's about. I encourage you to click on that link. And this should be in the email you get from me every week. You click on that link, it's a great website. And it goes into what they do. And so that's a good thing. Our club is supporting of this. You should recognize some of these people.
Michael Hubbard just sent a note.
Yeah, so there's Michael. There's Roland. There is, basically various people helping us. This is a big deal. Our club donated over $10,000 to this project, and it's used by a veteran.
What'd she say?
Yeah, so anyhow, it's a good thing. So that's what some of the pictures. We've actually done a thing for the newsletter. These are some of the other people involved in this thing. Like there's Mike Goebel wielding his trusty paintbrush, and there's Rick Knoll doing his thing, setting up a bathroom. It's kind of a big deal. Now, one of the things too is we're doing hydroponic gardening. So that is Roland, and we're setting up hydroponics gardening there.
It's really good, honey.
Really good. So anyhow, that's kind of it's kind of another good project. So
Chiming in on it.
what's that?
Who's chiming in?
I don't know. Yeah, Jim.
Kimbo? Okay.
So there you go. That's what that's about. And then this is kind of a overview, very quick overview. They have a bunch of buildings. With that, I'm going to stop screen share.
There's a lot more.
And I'm going to let Roland take over. Could you sit up here, please? Or even better, why don't you sit here so people can see you? You sit right there.
Oh, thank you.
We'll send out the flyers electronically.
Thanks, Bill.
Hello. Can they hear me?
Yes.
Can you make them full screen on it? Right on it.
Well,
Can you make them full screen?
Where's the camera? This one right here?
Yeah, right there. See, that's you right there.
Okay. I just want to thank y'all for allowing me to come and speak of the ministry to y'all. And I want to come and say thank y'all for all the support and just the help that we get from y'all and for everything that y'all done as to the veterans shelter and also the bus stop and all the other help that's going on in there in the hydroponic.
Thank you.
Part.
Do you want any more?
I do, but I'm not going to.
I'm gonna mute Joan. I'm gonna mute you.
Here it is.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Okay, and so if some of y'all are familiar already about what we do, I just want to go over it. Is that in the Streets Hands Up High Ministry is the Open Door Soup Kitchen, the Disabled Veteran Shelter, and also the Emergency Family Shelters. And we also have our first building coming in this Friday. We partner with BISD and the Catholic Youth Group. And we're gonna start housing the homeless high school seniors of BISD. And also ones in Elgin as well, in Smithville. And so we already have 4 young ladies that are coming into the first building, which is gonna be for the young ladies. The second building that comes in will be for the men. And we have BISD that's gonna be setting up their agenda of schedule of classes and counseling and other things. We are just gonna be like their big brother, just keeping an eye on them while they're on the property where they live in there. And we will also have a schedule for them to do things as well, giving them enough time to do their homework and other things. So that's the new part that we have going, and that building will be coming in on Friday. So that's another part that we're working on as well. And again, we have today a long-term disabled veteran that's coming into y'all's shelter, the one that y'all put together and did the work on. And so we have one coming in today. His name is Matthew, and he's coming in for 6 months stay there at the Rotary House Disabled Veterans Shelter. So I want to thank y'all for that. I just want to give you an update on who's coming in and coming out of that particular shelter. If there's any questions, anybody could ask me and answer them the best that I could.
Well, one of the things, Roland, is we're looking at doing our event on Labor Day.
Mhm.
And one of the things is we have like a half a dozen causes we'll support. And one of the criteria is the cause should be able to quantify exactly what they plan to do. You could summarize some of your upcoming projects, anything specific that you would need if you had some finite amount of money. The deal with the event will be you have to be articulate. We're doing X, Y, and Z, not spending the money on one woman and song or general fund. Could you summarize what you had in mind?
Yeah, right now with the buildings that we're getting that are coming in for the youth, the homeless seniors in high school, we're needing help to get the septic pump and the system in for those two. The houses, the shelters and the infrastructure of the shelter, being the electrical and the plumbing fixtures and furniture and all that's covered, but we're going to need help on the septic system of those houses.
And that's for homeless high school students?
Yeah, seniors, high school seniors.
You told me an unbelievable number.
Yeah, right now in Bastrop County, including Elgin, Smithville, and Bastrop, 35% of the high school seniors are couch hopping or homeless and not having a permanent place to live.
So how does it work at your, suppose, I mean, you get people dropped off by social workers or police, or how does it, what's your criteria for taking in residents?
They're not all homeless people. A lot of them are just going through some difficulties. So there's also a they're transitioning. And so, but we do get people dropped off from Bastrop Police Department, the Bastrop County Sheriff's Department, different social workers, different churches that bring in individuals that are just going through a difficult time. And so we help everyone that comes in if they fit and follow the rules that are set before them, because we are zero tolerance of drugs and alcohol or any type of domestic violence. Due to the families that are there, we're very protective of the families with small children there. And so everybody's welcome, but they're just required to follow the rules and guidelines of living there and visiting there as well. We gotta look for the safety of those that are coming, because they're coming into a place called safe emergency shelter. So we want them to be comfortable in their stay while they're there. And we recently put up some iron gates. And the reason why we did that, before we had the gates, there was an individual who came in, and thank God we had the cameras, because I was able to see the individual. And now that I'm living on the property, I was able to go in quickly and stop him, but he was going in back to the back where the families live. And I was able to stop him and got him escorted out. And so now we made it a little bit more protective by putting gates there. And so we just gotta be mindful of the people that are going and looking to be safe. And so it's everybody. It's not just adults that are young teenagers that are looking for safety as well. And so we want to protect them as well. At the same time, give them the hope that they can go forward in their future, you know, getting their education and helping them with job skills that we're able to help them with.
It's pretty amazing what you do. Now, going back to our event, I assume you have some kind of following too of people who might like to support our event in Labor Day. You know, you can do a booth, but if you have people like that, because we're going to need an army of people when we do this thing for Labor Day. It's going to be a crazy, crazy time. And if you think any of your people would be interested in being involved on a hands-on basis, besides setting up a booth, you're obviously a good nonprofit. But if you can envision any of your people wanting to get involved with club members and other clubs, that'd be nice. If that could work out.
Yes, I'll share it and invite and you know, and see what we can do together on our part.
My question is, how are you transporting these kids from 95 over to like Smithville and Elgin? How's that? Do they have a pool that somebody picks them up and takes them to school?
Right now, if there is a student that comes from Smithville or Elgin, the school district picks them up, school buses or whatever it is, they pick them up from their location and they take them to the school. If there's some that come in from Elgin into the shelter, this will be the same thing for the youth that come in. If there's a family that comes in, they're from Smithville, their child goes to Smithville schools or Elgin, BISD gets with that Elgin or Smithville school district, and they set up the bus to pick them up. So they get picked up from their location. And with the ones that we're going to start now with the youth, there will be transportation given by the Catholic youth group that they'll be transporting the youth back and forth to the schools, because they're going to be going to one place, getting their education. And I don't know for sure. I'll find out this Friday. I have a meeting if it's going to be done in Elgin or if it's gonna be done in the Bastrop.
Okay.
Well, the nice thing too is, presumably that uses that bus stop, assembled
Yes.
by Brother Noel and company. Remember that, Rick? And Jim Burton.
Jim and Rick had a big hand on putting that together, and also Michael was out there too working, and there was quite a few. You even had one come in from y'all's, I think one of y'all's chapters in Mexico that came out and did some stuff out there.
Well, I use that bus stop to be able to find your place. That's my.
A lot of people know where we're at because of the gazebo.
What's good, it's nice to help a worthwhile cause, and, you know, it's unfortunate that your facility is necessary. There could be a lot of, you know, how many people do you have to save to make it worthwhile?
Well, I have a question.
Mhm.
What's going on in Elgin?
In Elgin, we have a resource center. So what we recently opened up a resource center in Elgin and in Smithville. So now we're active in all three cities. In Elgin, we have a place where they could go get utility assistance. We also have a counselor there that will speak with people. We also do a food pantry out there as well. We also have a shower where people that are homeless in Elgin can go in and take a shower regularly, come in and get a bag lunch and sit there. As like today it's raining, they could come out of the weather and sit inside for a while. And there's other things that we're doing out there as well. We have a nurse that goes out there and does a free health screening as well out there. And if they just want to come in and talk, we do that with them as well. We have a place of prayer in there as well.
Where's that location?
That's at 102 Avenue C in Elgin, Texas, right across the street from the fire station. It's actually where the pregnancy center used to be in Elgin. That's where we're at. It's at the First Baptist location. First Baptist Church owns that whole square block property, and they allow us to use that building now as a resource. And in Smithville, with Janice Bruno, she's the one that has a community clinic there. She is, well, we partner with her, and she allows us to have we use a building there, and we do the same thing there. It's free lunches, utility assistance through Salvation Army. We do that there in Smithville as well, and other needs that they may need. Maybe someone might need shelter from Elgin or Smithville. Well, then they know that they can get a hold of us through those resource center. And if they need our assistance in Bastrop, well, then we'll get somebody to transport them from Elgin or Smithville and bring them to Bastrop for the shelter or the soup kitchen for a hot meal or whatever the case may be. And also in Smithville, we also have counselors and other people, caseworkers that are talking to the individuals that come by there as well.
What's the county's position on tent camping?
On tent camping, it ain't gonna happen. No, not on the streets. They knock that off right as soon as it starts. And I think that that's kind of a good thing, so they don't, it doesn't get carried away. But at the same token, this is, I've been working on it for, I guess, the past 2 years, 3 years possibly. And there's 5 acres behind us of where we're at right now on 95. And I'm still trying to work and see if we could get that. If we're able to get that, that's further out of the county, further away from the city. We can set something up, and we could make a bigger shelter as well for emergency shelter. But at the same token, we can even house people that have tents, but house them with some kind of authority there, somebody to overlook it, a facilitator. And so I'm still working on getting those 5 acres and see what happens with that we can make it a bigger community, kind of like they have in Austin, Mobile Loaves and Fishes, community first, and they have different sectors of different types of homeless people, families, individuals, single parents, or just however it is. And so with that 5 acres, we'll be able to house a lot of individuals that fit that criteria right now in Bastrop County.
Well, here's what's nice about that is tent camping is, in one sense, too easy. It's just the Wild West, and they do whatever, there's no supervision. In your case, you have clear rules. Follow my rules or you're out.
Well, that's just a way so that we could keep everybody safe that's on the property, especially the families with children. But we don't want to discriminate just because one's living in a certain way. But maybe that could be the breaking point for them to get help on that, and they could rise up and learn to do things and become responsible. So I believe with having someone as a facilitator or several people to facilitate and to keep the order there, I think that's what some people need in their life today is order.
Oh, yes, that's structure. Would you mind sharing a little bit about your biography and how you came into this?
Okay. I'll go to the short version. Okay. I'll go to the long version. I want to bore you. But the way the ministry came to me was through God, and I was in prison. I was addicted to crack and heroin for a very long time. I did 12 years in prison, and it was by the grace of God that He saved me and put in my heart while I was in prison to start the ministry. So I didn't know nothing about how to form a 501c, much less I didn't even have an education. The highest education I had was 7th grade, and I received more of my education while I was incarcerated. And so I started learning how to do a 501c nonprofit, and I couldn't spell, I couldn't read, I couldn't do none of that. So I would like put a letter together as best as I could and send it to my wife. And my wife was able to read my misspelled words and figure out what I was saying. And she started doing the paperwork when I was in prison, getting the 501 together. And that's how it all started. And then when I came out, it still took a couple more years to get it established with the IRS and the government. And so anyway, but that's how it started. The whole ministry started from inside of a prison cell, ministering to those that were in prison, and helped quite a few of them when they got out. When I got out, gave them the information of where I was going to be at. And some came out of prison and we helped them, and some are doing well to this day. We started in Houston, where I'm from, and till the Lord moved us here to Bastrop County. And so through my own faults and from my own errors, I'm able to learn from those and able to help people that are going through them today, through that.
You know what you speak.
Yeah. And I could see those that are, I'm not saying I'm the only one that can see it, but I could see when somebody's trying to manipulate or trying to play games. And I think those are the ones that get angry because I could see it and I bring it to them right away. And some are open up to it and they realize that, and some get angry and leave. But I try to do the best I can to try to help everybody. But sometimes when it's been revealed that what they're doing is a fraud, they get upset. But it's an old saying that I learned in recovery years ago, is that if someone in addiction, as they say, an addict, if he's happy with you, it's because you're helping him die. And if they're mad at you, it's because you're saving his life. And so a lot of them are mad at me because I'm saving their life.
That's pretty amazing. It'd be interesting to see, by the way, sometime when you're out in Elgin, they'll reconnoiter. It's worth a trip, by the way. So those who've not been there, it's worth a trip, and the pastor and I will give you a little tour.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he has a billion things going on, so just arrange with them first. But it's worth a trip to see, like what he set up there. It's just amazing. You know, and that's since our veteran shelter is kind of a big deal. But then it'd be interesting to have more versions of that. You know, it's tiny houses, but it's not seen it. Again, I'd encourage you to we could arrange for, I thought about having a meeting there, but it's so hard for people to adapt. Oh, I showed up at community gardens, but you know, we could do one there.
Oh yeah, y'all could use that backside, because right now a lot of people that go in, we're serving a lot of place right now but people are coming in, picking up their place to go. We have at least 4 or 5 individuals that are picking up for, each one is picking up for like 8 families. One's picking up for 5 families. So one person comes in and say they need 20 plates to go. Another one comes in saying they need 15 plates to go. Another one comes on a regular basis, they need 11 plates to go. And this is for breakfast and lunch. So people are not staying how they used to, but there are some people that are staying, that are eating there. And we do take the temperatures and still sanitize our hands. And we are still taking precautions of the pandemic, but it's open. But right now, people are still picking up plates to go. So there's an area that we have that is open, that is closed off, but it could be set up for a meeting. If you ever chose to have a meeting there, you're more than welcome, and it could be a tour at the same time.
Yeah, I think that'd be.
And lunch will be served. Rice and beans for Rick.
Yeah, basically, it's worthwhile. I've had some meals there. And, you know, it's a lovely facility. It's a multi-purpose facility. Can you describe how you use that one main building?
Huh?
That building, which is your church, your emergency shelter, your meeting room?
Yes, the one that's on the, I know those that are online can't see it, but this is one of the flyers of it. In the bottom picture, it says a shelter disaster center. It is actually called a shelter of grace. It's our house of worship as well, where we have our church services on Sundays at 3 o'clock. But if there is a disaster, as it was the freeze or a flood or a storm, whatever the case may be, it turns into the disaster center where we can house up anywhere to 35 to 40 people. And it has showers in there as well, and restrooms, and it's separate from the shelters and it's separate from the kitchen. And we have someone that stays in there when it is in operation. And again, during the freeze, I don't know if all y'all know, but we have people coming in from Elgin and Smithville. Not a whole lot, a few of them from one from Smithville and 2 from Elgin. Everybody else was from Cedar Creek or Bastrop. That we were the only facility that was open during the freeze, and reoperated with 6 generators. Where we're able to get food from several restaurants, and we stay open around the clock 24 hours from the 13th until the 21st. We're open nonstop. The police department, Bastrop Police Department, also the sheriff's department, and the city manager of Smithville even came over and brought some things to help us as well, and an individual from there. And so we were the only one open in Bastrop County. And so this is another reason why I'm really pushing, trying to get those 5 acres to build a bigger facility, because what's going to happen again if there's another incident like that was, or even worse, and there's more people going to be in need, and if the cities are not going to be open, we need to have something ready and planned or ready and stored for those situations.
That's sad that you were the only one open all these other hoity-toity buildings with all their generators and all that stuff, and you were the only one in operation.
Yeah. Well, I thank God for that. At least we're open. We had at different times, anywhere from 20 to 25 people at a time. Some people came in for a few days and then they left. More people came in, and it was just it was a busy week.
Sometime we should, sometime we'll have another meeting. Just slip out to Pastor Nava Shelter. At some point, we should do a meeting there, and you can show up by Zoom. You can show up in person. It's like 5 miles north of Bastrop on 95. It's worth a trip, but it'd be good to actually think about doing that.
I would love to have you all there.
Sounds good. Any other questions? Looks plenty. We'll keep up the good work. And Rick, if you could reconnoiter and report back, see if he's doing what he's planning, Rick.
Oh, gosh. I did go by there today, and I had to kidnap and bring him over here.
Yeah, because I can't drive because I had a surgery on my foot. And I was trying to look for a ride, and Rick pulls up. I said, "Oh, he came and picked me up." And so I jumped in his truck.
Yeah, we're pretty much tied.
Yeah, well, you get another 2 Rotary points for that.
Well, I want to thank each one of y'all that are on Zoom right now, and I thank you for your time. Thank you.
Well, splendid. Well, thank you. Okay, well. Let's see here, other piece of business, June the 5th, we have a banner here. It's going to be a big deal
You can't,
here at Community Gardens.
can you show the banner?
Well, it's like-
It's basically.
They kind of see it. They kind of see it. But this is kind of this is the banner. So this is by our lieutenant governor, district governor, Larry. So put this on your calendar. It's going to have a big deal. It's going to be all the clubs in our district are going to be at this thing. They're going to be assembling at that thing in the back. So
Say
anyhow.
what it's for.
Oh, well, this is basically, remember, the idea is we're gonna package up 10,000 meals from 9 to 1. Can you believe that? So what you're gonna see is these box trucks roll up. And there's gonna be an army of ants. And we're invited to be one of the ants.
Norman,
Yes,
do we have a time yet? Do we have a schedule for being there or whatever? Is
I
something
know I-
else gonna come out about it? I haven't.
once, they're here. Basically, it should be in the thing.
Pardon?
Yeah, it's 9 to 1 on
I
Sunday.
can't see it, babe.
And you
I
have,
can't read it.
Yeah, oh, that's true, thank you.
yeah,
There's a registration process, which you should have gotten from the district. And you can show up from 9 to 1, or you decide, I want to show from 9 to 10, or all those things. There is a registration. So Larry actually dropped this off this morning, but there's a registration process. But the idea is to pack out 10,000 meals. Now, these are meals not like we'd like. Stay tuned for further information on that. The idea is to have meals which last for years. Not exactly MREs, military lingo, but they're packaged up. So stay tuned for the class and show up. They're going to have a smaller version of this at the City Conference. The main one is going to be right here on June the 5th. Community Gardens back in the warehouse. And then we can give the option of, some overview of some of the other projects we do. Because we'll talk a bit about our club does good stuff, like Passion Novel Shelter, gardening, rainwater collection. And there'll be a tour of Texas Rain for any of their clubs. In essence, it's going to be an opportunity for other clubs, members and other clubs in the district to come and learn that Bastrop's not the far side of the moon. So that's kind of the deal with that. So that'll be a big deal. Does anyone else have any other business? If not, we will adjourn with the 4-way test of the things we think they are due.
First, is it the truth? Second,
It's
is there all concern? Third, will it build goodwill? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, Rick.
How does it look for volunteers?
Thank you.
For this big fundraiser?